In these archives, the subject of Grandmaster Luke Skywalker is something that we greatly enjoy discussing. Perhaps because of the bombastic feats in the Force, which are usually achieved by Darksiders, and it's nice to see a Lightsider show the true potential of their side of the Force in larger ways. Of all of the Jedi out there, I think we can all agree that it would be Luke Skywalker who is deserving of the privilege to wield this kind of power in the light side. However, one thing that always gets brought up among all of you, wise counselors in the Force, is that his power is derived of the potential of the Chosen One, his father. Full potential Anakin Skywalker is the one subject that rarely gets touched on in Star Wars media, as we unfortunately are left just to speculate as to what he could really be like, consoled only by the words of George Lucas, who said that he would be the most powerful Jedi to ever live, and twice the skill and power of Darth Sidious. We only ever get a glimpse of Anakin's potential in the Mortis arc in the Clone Wars, when he uses the Force to turn day to night and bend the son and daughter to his will. Beyond this though, all of our desires of seeing the Chosen One's full power has been delegated to other characters. Without a doubt, full potential Anakin would exceed the power of Starkiller, which is something that we don't get to see from another character very often. And there is a big debate of whether or not Anakin would exceed the power of that of his own son in Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. It has been stated by Lucas that Luke and Leia basically inherited the potential of the Chosen One when Anakin turned to the dark side, as the Force itself had to amend itself by creating another contingency, that being Luke, who ultimately did turn his father back to the light side so that he could complete his destiny. Why we are bringing this up? Well, it has come to our attention through multiple comments that many want a comparison between a full potential Anakin and Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. Well, we're here to tell you what we know, and that they're one in the same. Going off of George Lucas's statement that Luke inherited Anakin's potential, we can see that it would be Luke Skywalker who undoubtedly got to fulfill the potential in his lifetime. By the time of the Yuzhong Vong War and invasion, Luke Skywalker had ascended to a place where he is able to take on extra-dimensional beings that are on the level of gods, such a being like Abeloth, of course. Abeloth herself was proven to be a threat to the ones of Mortis, and it took their combined power to seal her away in the dimension known as the Maw. And although Luke Skywalker said that Abeloth was nearly 12 times as powerful as he was, but with the help of Darth Krayt, he managed to defeat the space demon. This puts him at least on the level of one of the children, if not the father himself. Who else has shown the capability of the father's power though? That's right, Anakin. The Chosen One was the father's first pick to usurp him and rule over his children to maintain balance between the light and the dark. With Anakin's ability to gain control over both of them while he was on Mortis, that puts Anakin Skywalker's skill and power in the Force on the same level as the father. At least the father thought so. Working off of these analysis, we can see that the power statistics line up between Anakin and Luke showing their full potential. This isn't something that necessarily needs proving, but we just wanted to cover all of our bases. I have heard those who want to say that Luke hasn't reached Anakin's potential because, according to them, full-powered Anakin could solo Abeloth, but that simply is not true. It needs to be stated that Abeloth is basically a deity. The ones of Mortis were considered gods, but they weren't actually gods. They were indeed incredibly powerful in the Force, but that was because they were distant relatives to the race known as Celestials who came before them. The Celestials, who once ruled over the galaxy as the dominant race, and established the Great Hyperspace Barrier. However, it took almost all three of the ones of Mortis to seal Abeloth away, not kill her or overpowered her. Abeloth proved herself to be on the level of, if not exceeding the power of the father. Her influence in the Force affected the whole galaxy wherever she was and whenever she was turned loose. Luke himself stated that it was unlikely that she could ever be killed, only defeated for a period of time. Despite being born of the Force, we need to remember that Anakin is still a human and is still mortal. Clearly displayed the power of gods, but in the end, he is still a mortal. And this is proven even further how he lost most of his potential at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi and still died to Sidious's Force lightning. Of course, pardoning all the power limitations put on him in his suit, that still doesn't say to me that he could have soloed Abeloth at any point. Regardless of any limitations, he was still not a god. Hear me out here though. That isn't to downplay the power of the Chosen One at all, but that's simply to dispel the notion that Anakin could be perceived as the most supreme being of the Force ever, and the most supreme being the Force has ever seen, and should be placed on the same tier as something like the Beldam spirits or something, which of course is not true. The reason we make this point is because the full potential of Anakin has been right in front of us the whole time in Luke Skywalker when he achieves the rank of Grandmaster. Luke demonstrated the ability to take down an entire AT-AT with just telekinesis telekinesis. He held open a black hole and learned how to fold the fabric of space to give him the ability to instantaneously teleport to any point in the galaxy. He managed to walk in the realm beyond shadows and face down Abeloth in her own dimension of power. If this doesn't say the Chosen One's potential, I don't know what does. Now, of course, clearly in canon, this isn't exactly the case. Disney Lucasfilm decided to take the Skywalker family in another direction, and Luke hasn't gotten to reach his full potential in canon like how Grandmaster Luke Skywalker did in Legends. So here's the thing, if you want our honest opinion, I don't exactly approve of the fact that Legends Luke inherited the potential of the Chosen One. I think that this slightly detracts from the mysticism of Anakin Skywalker's real power. I'm on the side of those who would have wanted to see Anakin's full power someday to either remain his own or a complete mystery to the fans, and maybe he could have even exceeded the power of Grandmaster Luke Skywalker. However, this video isn't working off of opinions, but the facts of which we have been given and presented to us in the EU by George Lucas himself. When George Lucas was directly asked how powerful a full potential Anakin Skywalker would be, he says that we already know in the form of Luke himself. He states that the full potential of Anakin Skywalker would be double that of Darth Sidious, and that Luke as well as Leia both had the ability to reach the full potential of Anakin and the potential that he held latently within himself, and that Luke did and Leia came close in Legends continuity. According to the creator, George Lucas, Luke Skywalker is full potential Anakin. In canon though, unfortunately this is not the case, and we still have no clue what the upper limits of Anakin Skywalker's power really is, or if Luke even came close to it. Again, this being very unfortunate. Well, my friends, I hope this cleared up a few things. I know that this will likely be a controversial take, but it is simply the truth as provided by Lucas. But comment down below your take, and if you think it was fine that Luke inherited his father's potential, or if you would have preferred it to remain a large mystery, with Anakin's full potential always being in the background but never realized. Until next time, may the Force be with you, and have a great day.